we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glasser from the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. We'll have a Pop Culture Cosmos coming out in the morning because Josh and I will record it early my time, where we'll go over the latest box office numbers, plus talk about Wonder Man. I have some thoughts on Wonder Man, plus a whole lot more. Go ahead and check it out each and every week, wherever you get your podcasts on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel. And also, as well, if you're a member for just $2.99 a month here at Lakers Fast Break, you will get it here as well. Plus, also as well, I host the Lakers Latest channel, part of the Fan Arc Network. So go ahead if you want your 15 to 20 minute quick fix of the Lakers. It comes out every morning. So go ahead and check it out right there. Lakers Latest. Please like and subscribe. Help out the channel. Just starting out, really. Coming out to its first 100 videos. And I thought it'd be a great part of what they're doing there at Fan Arc. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and hear more Lakers stuff and stuff from me, go ahead and check it out. Lakers Latest on YouTube. Also as well, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Hopefully I can track down Chris Sardieri so we can talk about our Super Bowl picks for this upcoming Super Bowl this weekend. So we'll go ahead and talk about that this upcoming weekend. Looking forward to that indeed. And also as well, want to go ahead and make sure you guys are rocking the Drip Show at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Go ahead. Dixie. Go ahead and make sure, if you love what I'm loving about this Laker loving shirt right here, please go ahead and help my man out. Of course, that's at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Reach out and say, hey, Drip, I saw Gerald wearing the shirt. Where can I get one myself? This looks dang awesome. So go ahead and he'll let you know how you can get your hands on one of these babies right there at Drip Show Shop. Plus also pillows, like you see with Kobe and Gigi right here. And of course, the best in canvas art right behind me with Luca and Kobe as well. What's up, Reed? How you doing? Nick T already taking his shots right there already. Great to have you here. Part of a not so great Lakers weekend because the Lakers went into MSG, New York City, the Big Apple, for the Grammy trip. Grammy trip is starting to wind down because the Grammy trip is tonight. The Grammys are tonight. So the Grammy trip is starting to wind down. Just one more stop after tonight, because tonight is the Big Apple. And of course, they met up against the New York Knicks. And for the first half, very competitive, entertaining first half, back and forth. The Lakers were still able to hold off and get an early halftime lead. Start off pretty good, 33-27 the first quarter. Still led into a 4-point lead at the half. But it was the third quarter. Man, this is like, okay, they got rid of their first quarter problems. Now we go back to the third quarter. It's a focus that they don't seem to have for all fourth quarters, and they didn't come out strong, and it just fell down from there as they fell down by 8 points at the end of the third quarter. Just absolutely not good, giving up 3 after 3 after 3 at MSG. And didn't give much offense. Only 18 points. 18 points in that fourth quarter. Let's also want to go ahead and mention that as well, that the offensive rebounds swayed in the favor of the New York Knicks. 15-7 overall offensive rebound wise. They pummeled the Lakers on the boards and hit on 43% of their threes overall. That's usually not a good combination, and it wasn't tonight for the Lakers as they fall 112-100. Couldn't get the offense working in that second half, and defense just couldn't keep them off the boards, and it spelled trouble for the Lakers, and they just didn't cover the three-point area and the perimeter well enough as the New York Knicks win 112-100. And of course, with the Lakers, it's I think they're going ahead 29-20, or are they 29-19? I think 29-19. But let me verify if that's the case coming up here. Should get an update here in a second. Lakers right now, 7th place in the Western Conference as I speak, according to what I see on ESPN.com. 29-19, 8.5 games out. I'll verify that here later in the show just to make sure that that is the case. And I believe it is because the Lakers are back down under a negative point differential there, back to negative 0.2. But if that's the case, 29-19, 8.5 games outside of first place in the Western Conference. Guess what? The Lakers are in the play-in if it started today. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What the hell is Rob doing? Well, Rob is, again, that beautiful cap space he's going to get into the summer. That's maybe what he's working towards too. But with the Lakers and the rumored acquisition of DeAndre Hunter obviously going bye-bye, with the Lakers' rumored acquisition of Keon Ellis going bye-bye as well, the Lakers have to look for other options. But will they? Maybe this loss at MSG will help clear things for Rob and for those out there that want the Lakers to go ahead and do something. Maybe this will facilitate a impetus to go ahead and try to do something this season rather than wait for next season or 2027. We will wait and see. But as of now, hold on. No Shams reporting after this MSG game. Not as of yet. Not as of yet. Because Mark, I know you're in there. Remember 1 year ago, you were here with me, my friend. We were waiting, and all of a sudden you were the first, and I got to give you credit, as always, that picked up on the Luka trade first and foremost. We didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. But you were the first one to validate Shams' tweet after the New York Knicks game. But 1 year later, absolute silence is what I see right now. So unless we hear differently and see differently, things have changed in a year. Of course, Luka again tonight, solid effort from him as far as what we saw out there as far as production. 15 rebounds for him. That's the thing that pops out for me. 30 points for him, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. LeBron chipped in with 22, 5, and 6. Oh, and by the way, LeBron did get named as a reserve, so his streak is safe. He gets into his 22nd NBA All-Star game. It extends his record. I know that a lot of people in LA, as far as the Clippers fans, all 5 of them are upset that Kawhi, who is having a better season, didn't get in. So I'll just leave it at that. But Nick T is sounding off on Jake LaRavia. Once the golden child on the start of the trip has now become the black sheep, I guess, of the Lakers family with his performance today. Nick T is really angry at Jake LaRavia today. 1 of 6 from 3, 5 points. It just didn't get it done today. A minus 19 overall. DeAndre Ayton started out with 10 quick points in the first half, and it just went downhill from there. It looks good on the stat sheet, 6 of 6, but really didn't give you much on the defensive end. And obviously with the New York Knicks just totally killing the Lakers on the offensive rebounds, plus hitting on the perimeter like they did, it spelled doom in that second half. And the Lakers offense just didn't seem to muster up anything. There was a more concerted effort by the Knicks. I was watching that they were making a bigger effort on D. I know that everybody saw as it was closing down to the last couple of minutes, Hart blocking Luka's shot as he put off a desperation 3. But that, again, it just was not a great effort in that second half. And I think that the Lakers look like a team that's nearing the end of a long road trip. And I'm hoping that at least Brooklyn, they can finish it off strong to go 5-3, which is about where we thought, which isn't that bad for a road trip. Absolutely. So yes, absolutely. So Mark is out there. Thank you so much, my friend. Truly appreciate you joining us. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers unfortunately lose 112 to 100. Elite, truly appreciate you being here. Absolutely terrible defensive schemes and one-dimensional offensive sets. I'm more mad as far as the offensive sets. Now, the rebounding, we have talked about this. I don't know who makes up the stat or who gets the stat, but I saw Windhorst on an episode of the Hoop Collective talk about how the Lakers, this was like before the end of the year, talk about how the Lakers were the worst at boxing out. Surprise, surprise to absolutely no one. That's how they get killed on the offensive boards. That is what I have an issue with more as far as that's concerned. And on the perimeter, like you said, Elite, once you could see they were starting to hit shots, you make adjustments to start playing them a little bit closer. You saw what New York did in that second half, played the Lakers tighter along the perimeter so that they couldn't get clean looks from three as far as the key people. They were still giving looks to like Marcus Smart or whatnot, but to Luka and to others, to Rui Hashimura, they were making sure that they were making it tough on them when they try to put it up from distance. King Cora said, yeah, Aiden did well in the first half, but like the rest of the Lakers, it didn't look so promising in the second half. Again, it looks great on the stat board for him because he finished, 6 of 6 as far as overall from the field. But again, defensively on the boards, you just got to box out, man. You got to get those boards, and you cannot get killed at the offensive rebounds like the Lakers. Also here today is a good it is, of course, the man behind I Got Next Sports. I wanted to mention that I'm probably pushing our draft preview special to Wednesday. I wanted to let you know that first off.
Okay.
I wanted to ask your thoughts on this. Of course, national TV game, light up the lights. It's at MSG. Average ticket price was close to $1,000. I did find lower ticket prices, by the way. I think I saw low 400s on Vivid Seats, by the way. Don't go to Ticketmaster. Go to Vivid Seats. They were definitively cheaper. But be that as it may, my friend, when it came to the Lakers, first half very competitive, and it seemed like it was anybody's ball game. But that second half came out, the Lakers absolutely could not get it done on the boards, and the fact is they stopped defending the perimeter, and it paid the price with a team that offensive rebounded and that killed the Lakers. And perimeter-wise, they shot 41% from three, the Knicks did. And those are two telling signs for a loss for the Lakers.
Yeah. The first thing I'm going to go and say, Gerald, when I played basketball in high school, I was a three-point specialist. That's what I was known for. That's what coach put me in the game for when I played on the wing. Anytime that the team ran zone, that was like Merry Christmas to me. You should never have done it. I don't know why JJ ran that part. That's the part I actually said, I'm going to cut the TV off. You're going to lose this game. You should have never ran a zone against a team that is, like number 3 in the league or making threes right now? They're going to get hot. That's what they do. You literally just played right into their style. You should have never ran the zone against them. Because whenever you run a zone, them same spots are open every single time. If you're running 2-3, the angles are wide open. You run 3-2, the corners are wide open. It's every time. It doesn't change. And it just, their defense just showed. It just, they can't play defense. It showed. The team really needs a lot of help on defensive end. And you paid the price. You can't sit here and just let dudes just keep getting open shots. Then you kept getting a lot of dudes getting a lot of second chance, third chance, fourth chance opportunities off the glass. You don't do that. You just don't do that. So I don't. That's the part that got me too. I watched LeBron and Reaves, someone just stand there and look at.
They just stand and jump. It's called, put a body. I was always taught. Ball goes up. Ball, feel, man. Put a body all the time. Body, cover a space, and guard it like it's your life. And they don't do it. They just jump. They just jump straight up and hope that nobody is around them to take the ball away from them. That's what simply it is right now when I watch the Lakers try to board. And it's just not good. It's not a recipe for continued success. Everything looked good in Washington, Legend. Of course, it's the Wizards, so everything should look good in Washington. By the way, King Cora says, congratulations on Jalen Johnson. If you do not make him an all-star, then you might as well just not have an all-star game because he is having an all-star game. Although, again, if you're in Clipperland, you're pretty pissed about Kawhi. I'll just leave it
Yeah,
at
they got
that.
about
But
10 fans over there at most.
yeah, well, they're all pissed off at LeBron because he got a spot, and you know who's having the better season. I'll just leave it at that. But when it comes to what we saw with the Lakers, absolutely, just you have to see once they're starting to hit their shots from deep, make adjustments and make it more difficult for them, or make sure you cover the right people so that they can't hit their shots. The higher percentage players, these guys all have assistant coaches that look at all these stats. They're always monitoring the stats. They're always monitoring what to do on defense. It's not that hard to try and make sure that you give guys that are shooting well tougher looks at the basket. It's a problem to me when you don't adjust and you keep on letting these guys, like they did in the third quarter, to let the hot hand keep on shooting from three.
They definitely did, because Shamit getting open threes. I mean, it was just everybody taking turns pretty much. Hey, your turn, gonna knock one down, and it was pretty bad. I think the Lakers was up by almost 10 at one point in the second quarter, and then that just shrunk just that quick, like in a minute or two. It's a close game. And the first thing I thought about when I saw we went to halftime is, it's third quarter. This is when they're gonna happen, and that's when it happened. The Knicks started erupting on fire from three. They just couldn't guard the 3-point shot, and they couldn't guard it. And they couldn't make one to save their life on the other end. And man, Rui just couldn't throw a rock in the ocean tonight. I don't know what happened on that one. But
well, again, they adjusted. The Knicks defense adjusted to make things more difficult for Rui and the looks more difficult for Rui. So everything that was coming up roses for him in the past couple games simply could not, as far as this time around. And Luka, you saw late in the game, they made adjustments. Hart played him tighter so that it made it more difficult for Luka to go ahead and get clean looks at the basket. And again, it's about making the proper adjustments. And Mike Brown tonight in the second half,
he did a good job.
Maligned. He is much maligned for a reason, but today he gets the cap because he made the adjustments, like you said, in that second half. Legend.
Yeah, he made a lot of major adjustments. The offense looked cleaner. The defense looked cleaner. Like that Knicks team I saw the first half to the second half, that was two different teams. And I got to give a shout out to Brown for that one. He did a good job in the change. That's something JJ got to really learn how to do too. You got to know how to make them changes when things just not working. You got to always have a plan A, B, C, D. Go all the way down the alphabet. You got to have different plans for different situations. And it did look like the second half he was about just like he didn't know what to do at one point. It looked like he was going to hit the 20 the way they were hitting threes, but at least they didn't let it get that ugly.
And I see Nick T's point. He said if your point guard is getting 15 rebounds, that means he's probably not guarding the perimeter that well. And I get it. You're right. But that also means that your rebounding as a team is that poor. So that it might need the guard to go down low and get some boards. So it's a catch-22, Nick. And I'm not going to give Luka a pass. You're right. He should be guarding the perimeter more. He's 6'8". He could be, if he puts a hand up on some of these shots, maybe they get better defended. Maybe they don't make as many. You're right. I'm not going to sit here and tell you differently. But if you know your team is that poor and getting killed on the offensive rebounds, Legend, you might want to make a priority for getting the board too. Again, it's a catch-22. Luka's going to get roasted whichever way. And I know Nick T is not on the Luka fan train, and I get it. I understand it. But again, you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Defend on the perimeter if you're Luka, or try to get the rebound because your team is rebounding so badly.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Aiden doesn't always give you the energy you need. So
he didn't give it that second half. He was disappeared.
You may need Luka then to go crash the board with you. I mean, it's just one of them things that you kind of need to trade on. But that just come back to what I said too a little while ago. I just don't think the trade deadline will be enough to fix this thing. You need the off season. You didn't need a whole redo the roster.
I agree. And I agree. I know some guys and gals in the chat, they are asking for a trade, and they're asking for a trade soon. But the Lakers just don't have enough. They just don't have enough assets. They just, again, you have a small amount of assets. You're probably going to get a small trade at best, as far as it's concerned. That's not going to really move the needle far enough for you guys. I know there's some players in Chicago. I've mentioned Kobe White. I mentioned Io DeSumo. Those guys actually I think they've got, Bobby Marks said 8 different players, more than the Lakers. Actually, I think one more than the Lakers that has expiring contracts. So look to see Chicago being very active this week. But as a guy who is looks after both Golden State and Atlanta as far as his teams are concerned, well, hold on. No, no, no. This time last year, we were hearing about a Luka trade. This year, nothing but crickets.
Well, I remember where I was when that happened.
Yeah, I remember where I was right here. And like I said, Mark, aka Xbox, called it out first, and I'm going to give him always props on that. But when it comes to what we're seeing right now, just a couple trades that have gone through, but nothing earth shattering as of yet. And I have a feeling your team is more like, or your teams are more likely to produce something earth shattering over the next few days than my team with the LA Lakers.
I know one thing. They keep throwing young to the Warriors. I mean, hey, I'll be happy to happen. I'm not complaining. I'll probably be a happy man right now. I might actually go outside and celebrate and tell everybody at the bar, drinks on me tonight. Drinks on me tonight. I'll be that happy. I'm buying for everybody in the bar. Get what you want.
Well, that's what I want to ask you, though. Again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is Legend from I Got Knicks Sports Media. Joe Soro is meandering somewhere in the chat as I see him like lurking there scarily. It is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. The Lakers do lose 112 to 100. They are 29-19, 7th place. Let me just say that again for the first time this season. 7th place.
They are.
Actually, no, they might have been 7th for a hiccup the other day, but 7th place in the Western Conference, 8.5 games out of first place, Oklahoma City. I want to ask, as far as, because the trade deadline's here, and there's no Luka trade coming down the pike right now.
I got you.
Yep. One time, it was like this time last year, we were all celebrating because of the Luka trade. 1 year later, doesn't look like that's to be the case. How come, with what's on the table, with the teams that are out there, has Milwaukee not done anything yet? Because it's seemingly they've already spoken to those 4 teams that are involved. Is that of concern to you that Golden State's not yet gotten the offer or gotten the deal that they wanted or gotten the call that they wanted from Milwaukee?
I would say I would take this time as maybe they're still weighing their options out, maybe still listening to everybody's options and maybe just thinking about it and using the last couple of days and maybe think on do they want to do it or not. I think if you get close to about going in the deadline with Thursday, that's the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking maybe if we get to about Wednesday, I'll be like, I'll start to worry that probably not gonna happen. I'm still not worried just yet. I'm gonna be more surprised if it actually happen. Because I'm just gonna go in the camp of how much I would like for it to happen. I ain't gonna put my hopes up to it. But I'm not really too much worried about until you get to Wednesday. That's when I'll be like, okay. Probably not gonna happen. But I also had that mindset of that's something I noticed in the NBA. When you hear people connect teams and players all the time, they usually don't happen. It usually be something that nobody
DeAndre Hunter. The DeAndre Hunter's coming to the Lakers any day now. Any day. Any day.
And Kings continue to. I don't know what the Kings doing.
I don't know what the Kings are doing. God help them. God help them, because I think they do need some help from up above, because I don't know what they're thinking. Okay, let's just give to Cleveland, a team that's in the second tax apron, eating a huge amount of tax. Let's just take your player that's playing his worst ever in his career. Let's bring him on over. No draft compensation to me. Because remember, I was saying, Legend, the other day, we'll take DeAndre Hunter, but give me 2 first-round draft picks.
Right.
Yeah, nothing like that. In fact, you gave away second-round draft picks to Chicago so that they could take that you could dump Dario Saric on there. Crazy. Just absolutely just idiotic. I mean, and I get, your mileage may vary on Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. I get that. I understand it. But you just saved Cleveland $50 million and you got very little back. You're gambling on DeAndre Hunter resurrecting his career in Sacramento. That's not a great gamble to take.
Yeah, that just to me, I feel like Cleveland may have finessed him a little bit and took advantage of him. But I have no idea what the Kings were thinking. For the Cavs, this was probably a good move for them. And they got y'all other target that I kept hearing kind of tied to the Lakers, Keon Ellis. They got him now. So kind of interesting how they got him wise. But I just don't understand what the Kings are trying to do. Like, are you rebuilding or are you? I don't know no more. I don't get their roster at this point. I'm gonna assume maybe DeMar DeRozan will be traded to somebody because it doesn't make no sense. You're not gonna win over here, so you might as well just tank, and see what you can do in the lottery in the upcoming summer.
Once again, it is, of course, legend from I Got Next Sports Media. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching this. The Lakers lose 112 to 100. Don't listen to Jovan Buha on Twitter. He is incorrect. The Lakers are 4-3 right now on their 8-game road trip. They've lost against the Clippers. They lost. Yeah, well, we know about the other loss as far as the concern, and of course, New York. So yes, they've lost 3 times on this trip. It's not been the greatest trip, but they can finish off strong with a victory in Brooklyn on Tuesday. So, yes, the Lakers, again, find themselves in the play-in. And this is something that happened coming off the hot start to start the season, Legend. And you're seeing the drift slowly, ever so slowly, down, farther and farther down in the Western Conference standings. And again, will this give the impetus to Rob Pelinka to do something, to make a deal? I'm not sure because I don't know if he has enough assets to make a deal worth making this week, Legend.
And King Corbin, no, I did not like that deal. I did not understand that deal at all. With the Hawks did today, I have no idea what they was thinking. But Gerald, I'm kind of curious on one thing I got to ask you about. What do you think if you was in Rob Pelinka's shoes at this point? You looked at what just happened tonight.
I would make sure I have my resume done on LinkedIn.
Yeah. I was wondering, like, would you think if I were Mark Waltz, I was just going to just tell Rob at the end of the summer, the season over, just go on and pack up your office? Because I don't know if I would trust him this summer to make the right decisions to fix this.
Alan says, Gerald, Kings have been promised the number 1 pick if they absorb super contracts. Hello, Alan. Hello. DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
Worst season of his career.
You mean over $20 million, sir?
For the next 2 years. Hello. That qualifies as a stupid contract. Where was the first round pick there? They gave away a second round pick. So I don't. Again, if I was a Sacramento Kings fan, I would be absolutely livid right now.
Cancel them season tickets.
Yeah, I want my $100 back for season tickets. But again, if it is with the Lakers that they are going to do something, because this time last year, as Joe noted in the chat, that we were experiencing the euphoria of the Luka trade, and 1 year later, we are experiencing the no-phoria of no news coming from the Lakers camp, especially the fact on a day where they fall into the play-in for really the first time all season.
They're actually in the play-in now.
They're in the play-in right now. They are 7th place, and it's not like they're there for a minute based off of schedule, win or losses like that. This one, they actually lost, and they actually fell into 7th place in the Western Conference. So with that, brutal, yeah, absolutely. Draft lottery number 1 pick. Hunter was a stupid contract. They should have got at least one. Yes, draft lottery number 1 pick. What do you? I still don't. I'm not following what you're saying, Alan. As far as just because you said that the Kings have been promised a number 1. Oh, you're saying that they're tanking. Is what you're saying, that they're tanking. Okay, just say tank. Let's just say tank. I know that tank is a dirty word to all these people, everyone out there, but let's just say they're tanking. They're trying hard. I know they lost if you think about it, they won the toilet bowl today against the Washington Wizards. So I guess when you lose there, Legend, you win. So I don't know if they've been guaranteed get your conspiracy theories and your tinfoil hats out there as far as the number one pick is concerned. But again, it's not helping your cap. They're going to be a tax. The rest of right now, Legend, they've got the worst record in the NBA in Sacramento, and they're going to be a tax team. And potentially, if they do nothing, a double tax team. They'll be in the second tax apron if they keep this up. Who is running the team?
I'm about to say, hey, you need to fire the general manager at that point. How are you the worst team?
You can't blame Vlade anymore for this. You can't blame Vlade anymore for this.
Like, oh man, I mean,
but Alan says they've been guaranteed the number one pick. So the guaranteed the number one pick. You know what, Alan? It's Sacramento. It's Sacramento. I know Vivek is, yes. The guy who chose Vivek, the owner of the Sacramento Kings, King Gora, the guy who chose or talked about maybe a more efficient offense is 4-on-5 with one guy hanging down on the other end of the basket, being a cherry picker, and you throwing out as far as get the rebound, you're trying to outlet to him. Yes, Vivek said that an effective offense should be the 4-on-5. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And watch Alan, in all Sacramentoism, because they are Clippers North, all Sacramentoism, watch them blow it right there on national television and get like the 5th pick instead. Tough says we are on the play-in, but only 4 losses out of second. There is hope. Yes, Tough. There always hope. And Tuesday, Legend, the Lakers will get some hope because they have a way to finish out. They're going to be a little bit tired because you're always tired at the end of a 7-8 game road trip. I get that, but they do have the Brooklyn Nets, which could be a very easy win for them.
3W
at home. And we said, we talked about most of us picked 4-4, 5-3. I picked 5-3. So it is what it is. But the league, again, Legend, it's getting tougher and tougher. And your Golden State Warriors, if they decide to do something, or if they get Giannis Antetokounmpo, could make things very uncomfortable for teams right above, which includes the Lakers.
They could make things very, very interesting in the West. I would say that if we were to get Giannis, and we have a chance to kind of flip the script and turn the season around. Still not going to be good enough to be Oklahoma and like that, but at least finish the season a lot better than what I'm thinking how they're going to finish it. I'm just going to be curious to see if that were to happen. Draymond or Butler, one of y'all two want to go. So, I mean, it's going to be one of you. One of you finna ride.
Now, Tony, I will give you some credit. Yes, he came over from Atlanta, and he was on fire to start.
He was really good for Atlanta.
He was started on fire, and I give him props on that. As far as he came over, he started like a house of fire, and as we've seen this year, it's fizzled out. He's averaging the worst numbers of his career, shooting wise, efficiency wise, and he lost his spot to Jalen Tyson in the starting lineup. I hope you're right and that he can return, because we don't want anybody to see anybody fail. Although Joe is here now, he'll probably say otherwise, but we don't want to see anybody fail like that with DeAndre Hunter. But it just shows when you're running an organization like that, you call me up with those type of calls and say, hey, I want to give you DeAndre Hunter for your backup guards. It's like, okay, what are you going to do for me beyond that? It's just that simple. But here today to go ahead and talk about today's game. Oh my gosh.
I love Scotch.
Scotch. It is, of course, the man behind the Joe
That's
Soro.
for Mark. Mark likes that scene.
Yes, he does. The Joe Soro Experiment, which had a 3-hour show last night. You can go ahead and check out right there for you on YouTube, along with the Sin Blades company that he has. It is, of course, Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. Very competitive first half. Looked like the Lakers had a strong chance of winning, but in the second half, the offensive rebounding woes and the wide open 3-point shots that the Knicks kept hitting spelled doom for the Lakers. The adjustments weren't made on the part of JJ Redick. I understand the personnel is an issue. I understand the trade deadline may fix some of those issues. But for tonight at MSG, 1 year later from the Luka trade, it wasn't meant to be in NYC.
Well, we're in that roller coaster of the Lakers win, and then everybody's like, yeah, we're going to win the championship. And then they lose, and then now it's Rob needs to go and
Well, you've always been consistent. You've always said Rob needs to go.
yeah, Rob is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Rob is gone, actually, but people don't really know it. The reason why Rob is still here, not here, with the Lakers as a general manager, I'm going to be doing a lot of Dr. Evil things because that's what this is. It's because of Jeannie, because she wants to be close to Kobe, and that's why Rob Pelinka is there. And we're supposed to feel bad and all that. And I don't feel bad about anything. I feel bad that Kobe's not here. I don't have to feel bad about anything that involves Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss. So y'all can have that all you want. I feel bad that Kobe's not here. I don't give a shit about Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss. So the positiveness is always going to come down to what is coming. What is exactly coming soon? And that is Mark Walter and the Guggenheims are going to be taking over this operation. And by the end of the year, there's going to be a lot of money that's going to be off the books, and they're going to be able to start figuring things out that way. Don't blame Mark. Don't blame Jeannie. Well, you can blame Jeannie because she's an owner. But this collective bargaining agreement actually has been more of a detriment to the Lakers. It finally got the Lakers. Let's just put it that way. And this is someone that's been yelling back at the league. My disdain for David Stern, God rest his soul, before he died, really started in the late 90s. The second Jordan retired in 1998, I felt like David Stern was not a, I'm a huge gangster movie fan, right? So the Goodfellas, the Godfathers, the Soprano TV shows, right? So one of the things that you hear in that world is wartime wartime guys, like guys that can handle when war is going on between the families, right? I'm not trying to disrespect David Stern not being here now. I don't think anybody really cares anyways if I did or not, but I'm just saying David Stern, I think, was good in terms of building and then sustaining. But after Jordan retired, after his pillars were gone, which was Magic and Bird, because he took over in 1984, right at the height of the transformation of tape delay and live, right? 1984, first finals in NBA history to be live. It was 1984. And then Magic, and then a year later, Jordan came. And then you had this run until 1998. And here you are, right? Now we're getting lockouts in 98. There are issues in 05 with the collective bargaining agreement. There's another issue in 2011. Like, I felt like it was always something. And it was always geared towards stopping the Lakers in some way, whether it was because they were a big market and they were getting all the players and all the little pieces of shit owners like Mark Cuban and Dan Gilbert and all those cocksuckers were bitching and whining about why they were getting clowned by one of the smartest people in the business, which was Dr. Buss at the time, right? So they finally got it. They finally got their stupid ass pseudo hard cap, and now they're happy to have the Denvers and the Oklahoma Cities of the world winning championships. So with that, you have to now adjust to it, right? You can't sit there and bitch and whine all day. I mean, I guess I could because I'm some schmuck doing a podcast, but at some point, Mark Walter and the Guggenheims do have the resources to build around this thing and then master it like they've mastered everything else. So that starts by the year ending. This year needs to end, folks. They need to wash themselves of $100 million of money that they then can start allocating correctly. There's not enough correct players around Luka. You're asking why Luka's taking 45-foot three-point shots? It's two things. Number one, bad decision making by Luka, but also what difference does it make at that point when everyone on there 90% of the time is just sitting there watching them dribble the ball? No one's moving. Guys, you've seen Luka get the ball to you. The guy can get you the ball. Screen, pick and roll, do all that stuff for him. He'll get you the ball. But a lot of these guys don't do that. I don't know what the hell's going on with their head. I don't know what Reddick's teaching them. A lot of times they won't listen to the coach. This is the NBA, guys. Players are first above anything, and that's been like that since the beginning. So, what else can you say other than if this is going to be the product, then I'll try to do my best to handle it for another 35 games, and then after that, all right, just start over. Start over. It's your first year here. Go ahead and start doing what you think you're going to do well. And I think they're going to do well in terms of getting this thing right. But we have to wait.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro drinking scotch, along with legend from he loves scotch, along with legend from I Got Next Sports Media. The Lakers unfortunately lose at MSG 112-100. The Lakers are now 29-19, 7th place in the Western Conference. And actually, that's a good question, Legend. I don't know if you caught that on the chat, but King Cora said, okay, because you're in the same boat. Your team, with both your teams, are in the same boat we are. We're searching for that piece that, or in the case of Lakers, pieces, or in the case of all these teams, pieces that can really put the Lakers or our teams back into really top contention. We talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo, but what if the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade does not work out for your Golden State Warriors? Great question by King Cora, and I'm trying to think right now, which superstar is available this time next year, or which superstar do you think could be available this time next year?
Well, I can definitely say if he don't come, I would say if he don't come, we can go and wave the right flag and go into the summertime.
No, but this time next year, leading, which star could be disgruntled, or which team could be facing such a bad problem that they have to get rid of the star? Which team could be going through next year what Milwaukee is going through this year?
With a star?
Yeah, star. I was thinking Mitchell and Cleveland.
Maybe Orlando, but I don't know if there's really issues there.
Boncaro.
No, Mitchell wouldn't have a problem because he'd be a free agent at the end of the year because he can opt out.
Yeah.
Free agent.
But
there's really no one. There's really no one.
It depends on if you categorize Boncaro, because the team actually statistically.
Yeah, but he's not he hasn't. He hasn't. There's never been any. Yeah, there's never been any noise that he wants out. I'd say maybe John Morant if something happens with him next year.
Yeah,
maybe
that's no longer a superstar.
Yeah, I don't know. I call him superstar no more now.
Watch him shoot a three, and you'll
is
say
Banchero a superstar?
No, he's not.
Not really. Like he being borderline, but trying to get there.
But the statistics right now say that Franz Wagner is the best player in Orlando right now, and the team has played worse with him on the floor than with him off the floor.
So Franz is like like Austin Reaves. He looks pretty with the numbers, and he looks pretty playing most of the time, right? Until you have to use him when you really need him in spots that you need to stop or score, right?
Oh, because he's been terrible in the playoffs. Correct,
and that's the theme, right? The theme is these guys are good, basic time basketball players, but they're not prime time players.
Good one by King Cora. Booker, but man, that
they're doing all right over there.
70 million.
There hasn't been one complaint out of Phoenix with him. He loves playing in Phoenix.
He loves, and it's 70 million,
and that's why they're playing well. That's why they're playing well. Just to give you guys evidence of why teams win so much of the time is when the leader of that team isn't a piece of shit. This is what happens, because Phoenix should not be playing as well as they are. But look what happens when someone commits and it's the main guy. It makes the coaching job easy. It makes transactions easy for the GMs and the owners. And then the atmosphere in that arena gives them even more energy because they're winning when they shouldn't be winning. Who the hell thought Phoenix was going to win like this year? I didn't. I thought they were going to be like, man, these guys are playing for a first overall pick at this point. Man, they're playing better than the Lakers sometimes.
Oh, and they are right now. Who's coaching that team?
Scotch.
Who's coaching that team, Legend?
Down into my belly.
Who's coaching the Phoenix Suns right now?
I don't know. It's like their fourth paid
That's
coach.
the guy who they got now.
Jordan Ott. Where did Jordan Ott was it? Where was he the assistant coach?
The LA Lakers.
It's the LA Lakers. Yep. There you go. Just saying.
I actually wonder, would there be any superstar would be looking to leave right now? Like everybody look happy.
Again, yeah. I mean, again, like you said, and Booker though. Again, if you look at him, you got remember on that last 2 years that he goes on the extension that he just signed this year, this past season, or no, this season. There's like $270+ million years at the tail end of his contract, so it's going to be harder to move him. But if he became disgruntled or for some reason things went south in Phoenix, but I like you said, like Joe says, he seems very happy in Phoenix right now. Again, that's a good one, King Cora. I think I'd have to think more about it. But Joe, I mean, I said Mitchell because, like Joe said, he's going to be a free agent in the summer of 2027. So that will be interesting to see if that takes place as far as it's concerned. But
I was hoping Giannis could handle one more year. I just don't. It doesn't sound like he's going to handle it. I think I think it's going to happen this summer, though. I don't think unless some amazing deal comes to Milwaukee and some team really, really risks it all.
Yeah,
I just don't see how that deal is not going to happen this summer, where Milwaukee will have some leverage and some ability to get something back with some fairness. And I do think that Giannis is a pretty honorable guy, because I've said this numerous times on the show that Milwaukee has tried their asses off. This isn't a situation like Dan Gilbert in Cleveland the first time LeBron was there, or it doesn't really happen in basketball as much. Usually teams do try to get the better team. But let's say your old team, the Angels, right? No, they didn't do shit to bring anything to Ohtani and I'm sorry, Rendon. They got Rendon. And that was essentially one of the I mean, it's Albert Hainsworth, and then is it Rendon next, or is it even worse? Right? So at what
they did it twice, Joe. Pujols,
I sort of understood. Sort of. I just think that the years were too long. But when you don't have any pitching, what's the point? This is baseball. You gotta have pitching. Anyways, I'm crossing my fingers for it. I'm crossing my fingers for Jokic or Donovan Mitchell next year.
Jokic's going to sign a deal because he gets $80 million more than. Yeah, it gets $80 million more than he got offered last year, and he's going to be he's going to take that.
Donovan would be the most realistic target.
Well, to show you how some stupid people are, I want to go ahead and put our old enemy, James Hex, in there. He says the Lakers can finish a top 3 seed in the West and make a playoff run. JJ is the wrong coach. You guys keep giving JJ a pass. Did you not hear, you idiot, me saying that I just went off on JJ at the beginning of the show, you dumbass. Anyways, you guys keep giving JJ a pass, which we don't, and I didn't, and blame the players. I blame the organization, including JJ, for tonight's loss. Real fans don't talk about next season. No, real fans will tell you how it is. You want to go and hear flowers, and you want to hear blooming. You want to hear, oh, everything's great and everything's great. Go to Lakers Nation, where they'll tell you those lies. And then when the Lakers don't finish where you want, you're going to be looking dumber than you are now. So get off the crack. It's bad for you, man. And just try to start living a clean life. But anyways, Legend, getting back to you, my friend. Because James Hex comes on here, acts like he knows something. He's always wrong. He's always inept. And he always comes here and comes off like an idiot. So that being the case, Legend, again, we have teams right now that are mired in the play-in right now in the Western Conference. Reality set in for you, James Hex. With the Lakers and Warriors, do they become desperate in trying to make a move this week?
I get the feeling we're going to both become desperate. You're going to get to that point where you both just desperate to make something happen. But at the same time, I'm in the camp of, I'd rather you just not make a trade. To me, sometimes making no trade is better than making an awful trade that could set you back 2 or 3 seasons or something. So I'm at the point for the Warriors that if you can't get Giannis, just this season, it is what it is. Just don't do nothing crazy. It is what it is. Go into the summer, figure it out. Go from there. Figure out what you can do for Steph, because Steph is getting older and getting younger. You got to figure it out. Go for the Lakers. I think the Lakers do got a tough decision to make on whether or not they want to make some trades to try to go for it this year. Even though I think maybe it might not hurt to make something good. Maybe make a move for future wise now, but I don't know if you can make something happen now to win this year or something. I really think it's gonna come to that summer. They're gonna make the big difference. I think the summer is what they really need to really fix a lot of things. Because you're gonna have so many people gonna come off your books, and that's a chance to really fix the roster the way you really want to. And then you'll see LeBron James come back or not. Whether he gonna go to Cleveland or somewhere else, or maybe come back for the veteran meal. I don't know, come back for $10 million or something like that.
They do have 4 first. Someone said 3.5, and I'm okay. It's either 3 or 4. It may not be the greatest first round pick, but they do have 4 first round picks, and I believe they still have pick swaps available to them as well that they can utilize in a trade. 3. Yeah, after Steph Curry is gone, so they do have that they could throw out. It's the problem with Milwaukee. Is obviously the reason why they haven't pulled the strings on that yet, Joe, is the fact that, and Legend probably agree with you on that, they don't like the players they've been offered. Because I'm assuming it's Butler's contract and some package which include Kuminga and Podziemski. That, I guess, to Milwaukee is not good enough, and maybe they're trying to facilitate a third team to get this trade done, Joe. I'm assuming that's why it hasn't been done, because Milwaukee hasn't found the right combo.
I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't see him going to Milwaukee. I'm sorry. I'm going to see Golden State. They just don't have anything. You cannot trade Giannis at the deadline. Unless OKC comes with a bunch of draft picks and a serviceable replacement.
How many draft picks? Because Golden State, obviously, a legend, they would do 4 in Golden State, and they're offering their 4 first rounders. And after Steph Curry leaves, it retires, they would be pretty.
Honestly, I don't. Do you want those picks just to have leverage for other picks down the road, or are you actually going to draft teams with that?
It's not the 26 or 27 or 28 seasons for Golden State. Legend will tell you, it's 20 like the Lakers, 2030, 2031. Those are the years you're looking past when Curry is already retired, that you're thinking Golden State might be in a major rebuild, and you might be the benefactor of it, Joe. Unless he does play well into his
depends on the protections.
What if they're all no protections?
Yeah,
and they're all just 4 straight.
Yeah,
with pick swaps.
Yeah, I do that trade. See? But I always assume that they're going to go, oh well, it's protected in the lottery, and I'm like,
how about do you want Giannis, Legend? That's what I would come back to you.
And do you think Giannis is going to make that much of a difference with an aging Steph?
I don't think.
And a disgruntled Kuminga. Is Kuminga in part of that too?
No, Kuminga would have to go in the trade.
Okay, so do you think Giannis and first of all, I don't think Giannis wants to go. I have a feeling he doesn't want to go to the West Coast. I don't know, but that's just kind of what I
said too. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think if anything, I'm thinking big market is a big market's going to be either New York or Miami. Even though Miami is not really a big market, but that's close to the Greek islands.
Okay. All right. Well, Legend, do you want to, before I get to Silver's question, anything to concur on that? Again, it is hard. It is a little bit longer to get to Greece. I will say that. But again, as far as picks, as far as that part of it, right now, no other team is coming close to that. Again, OKC, San Antonio, Houston, all these teams that could do the same match or maybe even exceed are not seemingly interested right now. But obviously, yet Milwaukee has not heard the price that they wanted to hear.
I mean, if I was the Warriors, I'm going to give up everything they want. Give them whatever they want. Here you go. Send them over.
Do you think, and I know we talked about it the other day. So do you think a Giannis Steph combo, how far does that get?
It definitely going to win you nothing this season. It depends on what you can build around them. I do like the part that you cannot build a wall on Giannis if I got stuff in the corner. You can't do that. That's easy. That's too easy. To me, it does almost not fully, but almost simulate that KD and that stuff where you can't double KD. He's right there, but you don't got a Klay Thompson on the other side with you too. Though. So I feel like maybe you got another good shooter, 2 good shooters on the wing with you, and then just build around good role players. And then you might can do something, but it just come down to how well you build it. And not sure how well I trust that front office right now.
There you go. Well, that again is legend from I Got Next Sports Media, Joe Sorrell for the Joe Sorrell Experiment. Silver, aka Silverhawk81, says, "Hey Joe, I agree with you about the current team not having the pieces around Luka to succeed. How much faith do you have that a team around Luka can be competitive in 2027 plus?"
How confident am I beyond 2027? Extremely confident because of the leadership that's come in. How and who, I don't know. I've broken down. I know you've just gotten here, so I'll get a quick footnote, cliff note on this. As of right today, I know somebody might end up getting an extension, all that, but as of right now, there are 3 players that have the option next year, so the end of the 2027 season, to opt out of their deals and hit free agency. One is Giannis, the other is Nikola Jokic, and the other is Donovan Mitchell. If any of those guys are free agents in 2027, and I know that I just said that Giannis probably doesn't want to go to the West Coast, but I think with some good convincing, he may in the right situation. And the reason why I believe LA is the right situation versus Golden State is because Steph is long in the tooth. Luka is just now hitting his prime. So if it lasted that long, which it doesn't look like it's going to last, but let's just say it did, I would find it in complete astonishment that Giannis isn't a Laker in the summer of 2027. Jokic, probably not as much, even though him and Luka are tight, man. Maybe Luka can persuade him. I don't know. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. And then Donovan Mitchell was kind of the wild card there because there's been talk about him wanting to get out of Cleveland for a while. So do the Lakers benefit by getting another guard that shoots a lot, that scores, but doesn't play any defense? The answer to that is yes, because you can never have enough elite scorers on your team, especially in their prime.
I think so.
But what you need to do is remember what you got to have: the 2 horses at the in terms of the forwards, and then you have to have a center that's going to be able to guard inside and out. So my thought process is, and this is just me thinking and kind of navigating and knowing what's going on in the NBA. If you were somehow to find a way to get Triple J out of Memphis and have him be your starting center, and then you ended up with a Donovan Mitchell in 14 months with Luka, that's a hell of a start. Because then maybe you draft a forward that's beneficial. Maybe you do get somebody in free agency, or maybe another trade where you can get that guy that can play the perimeter and hit a timely shot every now and then. That's how this has to be built. You know, this is the way of the NBA now. But it's going to take a minute because the new leadership just took over about 4 months ago. So and the salaries are set the way they are. It's just not an accident, guys. We're talking about when's the deadline? In 4 days?
Yes, Thursday afternoon.
Right. So 4 days, guys. 4 days. You're gonna see activity, but it's too difficult to trade now. These assholes agreed to a deal where you have to be a NASA scientist to do a trade now. Think about it for a second. The 2 trades that have happened this year that are known, the one that just happened yesterday, and then the other one was Trae Young. And then each one of those trades, hell, you could put in the Luka trade from last year in this. Every single one of those trades was a head scratcher. Luka for AD and Max Christie and just 1 draft pick? Really? And then you had Trae Young wanted to go to Washington? What? For who? CJ McCollum and who? Some shooter? Wait, okay, so what draft picks did they throw in there? They didn't throw any. What? I felt like I was back in the 2008 Paul Gasol trade. I keep waiting for someone to say Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, somebody. They're like, oh, no. They didn't trade. They only traded Kwame Brown and Crittenton and like draft capital. I'm like, okay, so where's Lamar in that? Oh, he's not in there. Well, what about Bynum? Well, you're not in there.
What? I'm just gonna say this, Nick, because I know that you're poo-pooing on Donovan Mitchell, and you said part of the reason is because you said he struggled in the playoffs. The 3-point shooting wise, it has been touch and go. It has been all over the place. It's actually at an average it's 35, but I get it. As far as outside, it's feast or famine. But the guy shoots, the guy scores. And again, you say he's
I'm sorry,
ball hog.
I can't do this. I'm sorry, I can't let you finish this.
Oh, okay.
How are you?
Game is this average?
How are you a 30-point scorer in the National Basketball Association and overrated? And your team wins too. It's not like he's playing for Charlotte and they're in the 11th seed. Come on, dude. This guy took Utah to the playoffs continuously, year in and year out with who? Gobert. Come on, dude. You guys gotta stop using that word underrated and overrated to the point where it's now like the new GOAT word. Like someone will take a piss a certain way and they're the GOAT. So those things should be constituted to the right things. You know who's overrated? Jeremy Grant is overrated. That's who's overrated. Donovan Mitchell is not overrated.
Let me just say this. Let me just ask you this, guys. I want to get feedback from both of you. If the Lakers, with a relatively same cost, because it is going to be relatively same cost, if you have a Luka Austin backcourt or a Luka Donovan Mitchell backcourt, which one would you choose, Legend?
Come on, that's not even.
I'm just because I know somebody in the chat, most likely Nick T, is going to say he wants an Austin Reaves.
Good for him. And if that were the case, then enjoy your first round exits every year.
I'm about to say, it's pretty obvious on that one.
Again, you call them ball hogs, whatnot. Again,
did you forget that Donovan Mitchell was a first-team All-NBA player last year? I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe you forgot. How do you become a first All-NBA player in the NBA? This isn't Al Jefferson scoring 20 and getting 10 rebounds with the Celtics or the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they're only winning 20 games a year. This is a guy that's an All-NBA player, first team. I don't even give a shit about second, third of anything, by the way. I want to hear about first team. And this is what this guy is, and he's overrated? Dude, come on. You got to start thinking a little bit here.
Nick T, you say that when it matters most, he chokes in the playoffs. Again, he's averaging 28, 5, and 5. And these teams in the playoffs.
Just because you lose in the playoffs doesn't mean you choke. Okay? You guys just because you lose in the. You know how many guys. Are you going to say that Patrick Ewing choked when he kept losing to Jordan? Or when he kept losing in the playoffs? Or Reggie Miller when he kept losing? Or Karl Malone and John Stockton? Or Charles Barkley? Are these guys all overrated because they choked in the playoffs and they couldn't win a championship? You know what's choking? Mitch Williams pitching to Joe Carter and him taking him to the house. That's choking. Because both those games that they lost in the World Series, Mitch Williams had the lead and he choked it. You know who chokes? The Toronto Blue Jays this last World Series. That's choking. You have no outs, man on second and third, and you can't score a damn run in your own pad. That's choking. Define things better, folks. Define things. Stop calling things underrated, overrated on a whim. Stop calling everything the GOAT. There's only one GOAT in the NBA. One. And he hailed from North Carolina, played in Chicago. That's it. There is only one. You can't have 10 of them. Oh, he's my GOAT. Okay, I'll buy that one. You have your own GOAT. Good. Yeah, you're entitled to that. But the reality of life is there's only one GOAT. Stop calling everything a GOAT. And stop calling people who don't win in a very difficult league chokers when they don't win. What did you want Donovan Mitchell to do the last couple of years? Who was his other second star with him? Who? because Steph Curry had Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, and Magic had Kareem, Worthy, Cooper, Jamal Wilkes, Byron Scott, not a Hall of Famer, but damn good. Like you have to have talent sometimes on a team to win. Jordan had Pippen, Rodman, Grant. Like what? This is a team game. It's a team game. Look how long it took the Celtics to win with their team, and they're tight, and they got good coaching, and they got good management. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, were they choking when they weren't winning? I don't think they were choking. They just weren't winning. This is the other team is playing hard too. So just gotta change your guys' like internet mindset, man. Everything you guys hear online, choke, underrated, overrated. Like, dude, it's competition. You got to look at the details of this. How about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Was he choking up until last year when they weren't winning as a 1 seed? It's you guys got to just think a little bit, man. It gets exhausting talking to people who don't get it.
By the way, some good news for the Lakers, guys. Just want to let you know because Phoenix at home.
Scotch.
Phoenix is at home getting their butts kicked right now to the Clippers and the non-All-Star Kawhi Leonard with 42 seconds left. So it looks like they are going to get destroyed at home. So that puts the Lakers back into 6th place in the Western Conference in about 40
Kawhi
seconds.
took it personally.
Yes, so I just want to update that while we're on here.
Did he choke though?
Yes. Oh, did he choke? Yeah.
Maybe one of them trees he supposed to be playing.
Well, there was that 3-1 series by the Clippers and Doc Rivers. You don't think that was a choke?
Which one?
A 3-1 series. Clippers up 3-1.
Oh yeah, that is a choke. Yes, yes. Anytime you're up 3-1, I mean, come on, 3-1, and you have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in there. Like how do you? That's a choke. Yes, that's a team choke though. That's a full team choke.
By the way, T3 is T3 is correct. Marc Gasol was not in the NBA at the time of the trade. He was when they traded the brothers for each other, Pau and Mark. Yes, Mark was not yet. He was still playing overseas. That is correct. He had not. He played right after. He went to Memphis right after and started playing. But yeah, he did not yet play. He was still just a draft choice that the Lakers had rights to. When they traded him, just to want to make sure that's clarified. But Legend, again, hopefully it's going to be a very busy week. We've only seen 2 trades so far. It was a little bit more active this time last year. And obviously with this time last year, everybody was doing cartwheels here on the show at the time in regards to the Luka trade. It was just a really great time indeed. But 1 year later, we're in a very precarious position. We're teetering on the brink of a play-in. As you've seen, of course, over the course of the show, we're teetering on the brink of a play-in. Obviously, the Lakers are in need of some kind of help. Your teams are in need of some kind of help. But as Joe puts it with his thoughts on the CBA, it restricts what you can do in season on trades. How active do you think this trade deadline is going to be this week?
It could get interesting. But if nothing ain't really happening by like maybe Tuesday night or so, going into Wednesday, then it's gonna be a pretty quiet trade deadline. And maybe the summer will be when things get interesting. But I will say though, if I'm the Lakers, you want to get out that play-in, guard 7th and 8th, because do you really want to play a potential Oklahoma or somebody in the first round? I mean, that's a bad option. So you might want to get away from playing. At least get the 6th seed and test your luck with whoever you get in field. But yeah.
Because I think right now that the league in the Western Conference especially need to take note because Jokic, Joe, has just come back. And the Denver Nuggets were not only able to tread water, they still stayed in the top 3 in the West. I expect them now I do expect them to go ahead and pass the San Antonio Spurs for second in the Western Conference. So that would leave us, if it started today, would most likely a matchup against the Spurs. Your thoughts on as far as who you would like to see us match up against? Because right now, before the trade deadline, we're sixth place in the Western Conference.
Who I would want them to play?
Who are, as it gets closer and closer, seeing that we're now over half the season in, who are you thinking about as far as a good matchup for the Lakers?
Houston. I would be more comfortable playing Houston in the first round than Denver.
Steven Adams being out hurts a lot for
It hurt a lot
of rebounding.
So that would mean that
the
Lakers would have to somehow sneak. Let's say they sneak that 6, so they need Houston to be number 3. But if Wembanyama is healthy, I think they probably flip-flop between them and Denver at worst, one way or the other. It's going to be one of those teams. And then Houston would be a solid 4. So the Lakers may need to get to 5 to avoid Spurs or the Nuggets in the first round. Then they can play either Minnesota or the Rockets. And then that's a little doable. But then they're going to meet Oklahoma in the second round, which means even if they got through that, they'll probably get their asses handed to them.
Right back.
Take it to behind the shed and get ready.
They're 10 games over 500. It's a little too late to tank. Again, just somebody coming on just wants to talk crap, and then they just Lakers should tank. This
is why I go to bars. So my buddies called me. I remember a few weeks back. My buddy Jason. And Jason was with his new chick. And of course, when he's like a girl, when he meets a chick, you don't hear from him for forever. And then he comes out of nowhere, right? And he's like, yeah, we're at this bar over here. It's like Steelers and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why are you, since when the fuck do you give a fuck about Steelers? You're a Raider fan. In my head, I'm thinking. I love Jason, by the way. He's my boy. But just, again, this is who he is. Oh, yeah, my Crystal is a Steeler fan. I go, and I know he was kind of trying to say, hey, man, we're over here, roll through. I'm like, I hate bars, especially with football. Basketball is a little different, baseball, because they're kind of like, football has a lot of testosterone in it, right? And even if around Steeler fans, they're good, they're okay, but I just don't like people like around me when I'm doing things, mainly. And I also don't like girlfriends and friends, and I gotta be like all nice and normal and shit. So yeah, it's
I know this from real life, everyone.
Yeah,
I know this from real life. I'll just
it's
say
just
that.
Yeah, it's just
He was on his best behavior, I will say, when we were together.
Yeah, well, no, hold on. That's completely different. You guys are like a normal. You're a This is a family with kids. This is completely different. This is never ever gonna be a setting where I'm an idiot around kids and wives. Like that's a different beast. Yeah.
So legend Nick T is infuriated in the chat because he said if we had a Halliburton right now, we'd be.
Oh, so let me get to my point. I'm sorry, I veered off here.
Go ahead, Joe.
That's where you get the deadheads. Come on, man! You gotta hit him hard. Bunch of guys that have never played sports in their whole life yelling at a coach. This is the part where when Jeff talks about the guys on the couch, that's what pisses me off. I am not that guy at the bar. I will never be the guy at the bar. I actually know what's going on. Yeah, I might not know the intricacies of the West Coast offense because I've never ran it, but I guarantee you this: if I was in the coaching room for a year, I'd learn it. I used to call the plays when I played. Centers sometimes would call the blocking schemes. I know that stuff. I still remember it. My point is, I don't want to be around people that watch the game maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and they're just there wearing some other dude's jersey and yelling at them too. Like, no, can't do it. And that's what the internet is, times 50 billion. Why don't you just fire Rob? Can you guys, how many times have we said it on the show the last 4 months? Can you just wait? The guy just literally took over in October. What do you want him to do? Go in there with like Ari and Entourage and start paintballing everybody? This isn't the movies, man. This isn't TV. This is real life. And Mark Walters' ability to communicate as a human being and be respectful plays a part in his talent. If you want to know how idiots run shit, all you got to do is go over there in Dallas. You want shit like that? You want guys like that own a team, that trade Luka because of whatever reason? I still don't know what it is. I still don't know. They're blaming Nico Harris. Look, you don't blame a child that's 5 years old who's stealing shit. You know who I blame? Who the fuck is this kid's parents? That's the same situation there. I'm not blaming Nico for anything. The ownership has to call that one. They're the last line. They didn't know what happened. What, was he sleeping at that night when Nico did it behind his back? Maybe he did it, but don't you think that would have been out if it was? So the important thing here is we need to enjoy what we're watching. Enjoy LeBron James. Look, at the end of the day, LeBron James is one of the all-time greats that we'll ever see in our life. We're never going to see another LeBron James. You're never going to see a 6'8", 270-pound freight train that's in control. It's like Karl Malone that can dribble. That's what I remember when you guys were talking about on the last show when we were talking about LeBron and during his high school setup and all that. I'm like, my interpretation wasn't ever he's half Jordan, half Magic. I said this is basically Karl Malone who can dribble, which was a very scary comp. Like imagining Karl Malone built like a fucking brick house that can dribble too? Shit. How the fuck is anybody going to stop this guy? So enjoy what you've watched. Stop cracking on LeBron. You can crack on him for being LeBron off the court. Enjoy what's on the court because that doesn't really matter on the court. Enjoy it. Enjoy Luka likely winning the scoring title. It's going to be first NBA, all NBA again for the sixth time, Gerald? But he's overrated, right?
He's overrated.
First team all NBA basically in the next 2 months, but he's overrated, right?
Nick T says Halliburton would have the Lakers number 2 in the West right now.
If you switched Halliburton for who?
Who do you think?
For Luka? Nick T, are you fucking with us? Because if you're fucking with us, then that's a good one.
Like Luka, he is just not like Luka from day one. A year ago, he was on the not
what,
on the.
You Serbian, and you're mad that he doesn't claim Serbia? Like, what is the deal here? He's a quarter Serbian. We all know this. What is it with you guys? Are you a Dallas fan that is jilted? I just say it. If that's the case, then you can talk all you want. Scotch is good.
So Legends, let me bring it back to you. And once again, the Lakers do lose 112-100. The Lakers are now backed into sixth place in the Western Conference. Their next game is on Tuesday in Brooklyn, 4:30 p.m. start time for that one. Just to let everybody on the West Coast know but on your way home, guess what? The game's already going on for you. Hey, but Legend, it's more towards your time over there on the East Coast. I'll just say that. But Again, I'm hoping for a flurry of activity, if not with the Lakers, just the NBA.
Hold on, Gerald. I'm sorry. Roy, he's 3/4 Slovenian. His mother's full Slovenian. His father is half Serbian, half Slovenian. He's like De Niro. De Niro is actually 3/4 Irish and a quarter Italian. Pop was half Irish, half Italian. Again, I'm not a what is it? A whatever?
Genealogist.
I'm not a genealogist, but the last time I checked, that's the percentages based off of what I've read. So if he wants to claim Slovenia instead of a Serbian, that all power to him. We have people that are born in Brooklyn that all of a sudden become Indonesian because they want to play in the Olympics. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. You all know my opinion on that I've been on the show for a while. I think that's the dumbest, most fake thing you could be. I'm not. If that's the case, again, I'm gonna say it again. I'm the Haitian sensation. I'm Haitian, and there's nothing you can say about it. I don't give a shit. I'll call you any. Yeah, I'm Haitian. How about that? You like that?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Forget about 23 and me. We've got 23 and Joe. So Legend, bring it back to you. Again, I'm hoping for just a flurry of activity. I want to see.
I've seen Legend smile more today than I've seen him ever.
You certainly entertained him, that's for sure.
I guess I've been drinking a little bit too.
As long as Legend's smiling, I'm having a good time, man.
So what are you hoping for this week, Legend? Because I'm just hoping for a lot of stuff to report on and talk about, and maybe something that would help the Lakers. That would be really cool as well.
I didn't want some activity, just a little more motion. Like, I don't know if we're gonna have a lot of breaking news, but just a little more action. It has been kind of quiet around the league, and I just want to see some teams, maybe some take a risk, and maybe see some more teams be like the Kings and do something stupid and it's gonna make no sense. But maybe the Wizards gonna pick up some more contracts for the hell of it, just to get a crowd something. Like they did with Trayon. They got him to just sell tickets. I didn't want to see more action, though, more movement around the league, and maybe see somebody make things get interesting. The youngest thing would make things get really interesting if that would happen. But we'll see. See what happens. See what happens, wise. Never know. Maybe Rob Pelinka might make it get interesting.
But what, Joe, and I'm not as optimistic as Legend on that one because again, the Lakers just don't have unless you're in the expiring.
You had me at.
The expiring contracts, Joe. They just don't.
You don't
have.
No. You had me at. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
They just don't have assets. They don't.
They don't have shit.
I mean, if you want to
get through this year,
if you want expirings and better players from expirings, go to Chicago.
I'm trying to give y'all hope, chat. I tried.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Legend. But
the only way. But think about this, Gerald. Why would someone give you a viable player, a viable player to match your expiring contracts, yet you have to pay him beyond this year? The point is that they probably would have got D'Angelo. I keep saying D'Angelo, like my boy in high school. DeAndre Hunter. Had he not had that extra year, I would have said they probably would have taken a stab at it, considering what the Kings gave up for him. But it's just not. It's not. They don't want. There might be. Mark Walter may have told Jeannie to tell Rob, we're not taking on any contracts outside this season. If you want to make a trade, sure, but we're not paying. We're not going to go beyond 2026. So this actually might not be Rob's thing. They're going to wait for the buyout market again to see if they can snatch one guy. I don't even know who the hell is going to get bought out. That's going to matter anyways. But I'm telling you right now, unless something weird happens, and it's probably not going to happen because it just doesn't make sense based off what I've read. Like something really out of left field has to come out. But who's complaining right now beyond Giannis? Who's complaining about wanting to get out of where they are? Who? Or at least allegedly being called that they want to get out.
Like a connect doesn't matter in this situation.
No, connect doesn't. Connect. If Connect came to me and I'm not even attached to the Lakers, and he said, "I think I'm going to tell these guys I want to trade," I'd be like, "What are you, stupid? What do you mean you're going to tell them to trade you? What the fuck have you done to ask for a trade?"
I give you guts for going to the front office if you did that.
They would. If somebody came to them and gave them an ultimatum, hey, it's either you cut this guy or you're trading. What are you going to do? They'd cut you right away. You screwed this up, Connect. And who are you not to get traded, by the way? I've said this before. Robert Horry got traded, and they rescinded that trade. Robert Horry has 7 rings. So who are you, Dalton Connect? You gotta understand, in this business, you gotta stay humble. You gotta stay humble, especially if you aren't him. And look how we're talking about him, by the way. Him who self-proclaimed him, or I don't know who gave it to him, Mr. Austin Reaves. We love Austin. Homegrown player, has improved every year. I love Austin. I'd love for him to stay with the Lakers. I really would. But you cannot invest supermax type money on a player that isn't a real number 1 or 2. You can't. It's like paying a good quarterback, elite quarterback money. Look at Dak Prescott in Dallas, for example. Look at Kirk Cousins the last decade in football. That's what happens when you give those guys max money. You don't win shit. They're not elite. So it's a difficult business, and a lot of it needs some luck too, timing. You know, we talked about the Golden State thing. Two things happened with Golden State with Durant: luck and timing. Luck was Curry's ankle when he signed his first contract outside his rookie contract was small because they didn't know. There was talk that he was going to get traded to Minnesota, right? It was him or Ellis. So Monte Ellis, for those of you who don't remember, that was like legit. Like it was going to happen. There was another trade that I think Jerry West put a kibosh on. I think they wanted to trade Klay Thompson to Minnesota for Kevin Love, and Jerry West said, "I'm quitting if you do that trade." So Jerry West has saved so many franchises. This is why Jerry West is number one in all of sports to me. He got Shaq, Kobe, and D. Fish in a month and a half time. He convinced Kobe to come back to the Lakers. What he had committed to Elgin Baylor, he was going to the Clippers. And then he told Golden State, you don't fucking even think about trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love or I'm out. How many championships is that, Legend, that he saved?
Every last one he got right now. Every last one.
9 championships off of those 3. Like, hey, what the fuck? No.
No.
So I don't. That's why we love Jerry West, by the way, folks. At least that's why I love him. I mean, when someone asks me what I do for a living, I don't tell them I own or I govern anything. I just tell them I'm a problem solver. Jerry West was a problem solver. That's all he was. And he was the greatest problem solver in sports in terms of an executive.
Jeremy, yeah, because if you said, okay, I've got $50 million to spend, and you're asking me to spend it on either MPJ or Austin, I said neither, because I think there are better fits as far as players that excel on both ends of the court better than MPJ or Austin. You guys got to realize that MPJ was traded from Denver, Legend, for a reason. As great as he's playing, he's really, and we're going to see him on Tuesday. He's really been playing well, scoring wise, shooting wise, been playing really well. But there are reasons why he was like, he had back issues, but which seems to be on the court, and he seems to be healthy this year, which is good. But his defense, I guess, was still such a sore issue with them. Legend that's the reason why, after signing him to that big extension, that they soon departed company and let him go.
Yeah, I remember that after the finals and all, he dipped off a little bit on defensive end, and the jump shot wasn't falling as great as either. The jump shot had come down a little bit on the 3-point shooting, so they didn't move off of him and pretty much start looking for the next man up situation. But he's definitely gonna put his stock back up. But you do got to admit, it is in Brooklyn. You're gonna get more shots. Not a good team, so that does help boost your value up. But there's a champion inside him. So you won a championship. That experience is there. So that does, to me, play some type of value. If you decide to go pick him up, you're getting somebody who has been through the playoff, don't win a championship, know what it takes. So there's some good value still in him, and at least he's showing that maybe I didn't have a good run towards the end of Denver, but I can still be that guy, or at least be something close to that guy.
So Joe. Something we didn't mention before, we wanted to mention it before we leave, was Austin Reaves. We talked about Austin Reaves and all that. Nick T says, do you think Reaves is trying to avoid being traded? That's why he's not playing right now. Well, he was warming up, and I guess the team, him, what have you, just again at MSG said, no, not playing today. So that has one more chance to play on this road trip, because we were told by JJ he would play on this road trip. We have one more opportunity in Brooklyn. I don't see the point of doing that now, because if you can't win in Brooklyn without Austin Reaves, really, you're just just not that great of a team, period. But
no, I think it's there has not been anything outside the Lakers or anything that's come out of the Lakers that says that they're not going to re-sign him. There hasn't even been a hint that they're not going to re-sign him. The only question is how much. They apparently want Austin to come back, and they may have to sign him if there aren't any major free agents that they sign in the summer. Because guess what? The CBA, and it's not just the new one. This was before. You have to fill up what?
Just to have that, just to have that money alone.
90% of the salary filled, right? That's part of the gig.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I'm sorry. I can't. They're gonna probably. He's probably gonna get the timing on his side. They may sign him to a max contract because they have to fulfill that number unless they have their eyes fixed on something.
So if they sign him in a max contract, will that age well?
No, unless I'm sorry. It'll age well in the sense of he's young and he'll play it out and do well. But I'm gonna stick to my guns here. If at the end of the 2027 season, and that's the summer where I feel that the Lakers will have enough built between management, putting together the right crew, the right people. If they get out of July of 2027 not being a legitimate title contender with their acquisitions and the way they put the team together, that's when it'll be bad.
Well, again, Eric Kwan is saying, no, they'll never pay Austin Reaves 1/3 of the cap. It may not be.
I hope so. I hope you're right, Eric. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
You can't. It's got to be a 5-year 30 per. If you want more, okay, I'll give you 35 for 4. But you cannot. He cannot be. Even next year, he can't be the second best paid player on your team. You are screwed. You will not win in 2027 if you do that. If that's what your goal is, but it probably wouldn't be. It's probably a building block. The cap only can go up 10% a year, guys. This isn't like the NFL, where I think the NFL went up $30 million for next year. That's just a mind-boggling number. It went from 279 million to 30. It's projected to be between 301 to 305. Mind you, when the salary cap was first implemented in the NFL in 1994, you know what the salary cap was, Gerald? 34 million. Oh shit! And people were rich then too. They were getting paid. Like Aikman was getting paid. I remember I was watching the Emmitt Smith, debacle in the year of the second year they won the championship. Right? He didn't play the first 2 games. He wanted, what was it, 17 million for 4 years. I'm like reading that. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, 17 million for 4 years. But that was a lot of money then. He was the highest paid player in the NFL at that point, I think.
But the problem is, guys, he is, and I was going to say this to Jeremy because he's asking how much do I think he'll get. Whether we don't want to sign him to the max, we're not in the room. The fact is, Legend, he is the marquee unrestricted free agent unless Trey opts out of his contract. But he is the marquee free agent this summer, unrestricted free agent, I should say. And there are going to be at least a half a dozen teams with significant enough cap space to sign him. It may not be the Lakers' choice. If the Lakers wish to retain him, they may have to ultimately pay a price that they weren't before willing to pay.
I mean, one thing for sure, you don't want to let him walk for nothing. So you need to sign him back if you're not going to trade him.
Or do the sign and trade. Or do a sign and trade
to
get that extra year. Because that's the one thing that if you don't want to pay him that kind of money, guys, you can work out a sign and trade so that he gets that extra year wherever he's going to, Legend.
I would just say just be careful on the overpaying part, because I feel like we've seen a lot of people do that where they'll get paid big, and then after they get paid, they just fall off the cliff. Some people fall off the cliff, but some people start dipping. And that's the part, to me, the part you just don't know what you're getting. I wouldn't pay Austin Reaves that much money. I mean, yeah, I know he's been playing really good. Might be a good thing he didn't become an all-star in the low, because that made the price get higher. But you just got to be careful about how you pay. To me, I think the way the Lakers handle that situation could really determine a lot of things going forward for the team, is how much you are willing to pay Austin. But I wouldn't be paying like some crazy amount of numbers, because that could come back to bite you down the road. I think you really got to think hard on what are you willing to pay.
Exactly. So, Joe, before we head on out, I want to hear your thoughts. And once again, the Lakers do lose 112 to 100. Lakers find themselves at being seventh, then now sixth, back again sixth in the Western Conference as they head to Brooklyn on Tuesday. We thought they would go about this. We have a chance for 5-3 on the road trip. I don't think that's a bad trip at all. 5-3, I think is pretty good, all things considering. The problem is when you go 5-3, you still find yourself in sixth place in the Western Conference, Joe. That's the problem.
This was a tough road trip, and I'm not going to say that. From being honest here, I actually thought the New York game was going to be a loss, just because of how the things kind of played out. I thought maybe there would have been a chance if Austin played, but even if he did come back, it would have been the first game, and it would have probably been wrong. So I think Austin comes back for the Brooklyn game because it's a little, quote, easier. He can get himself back into a little bit of rhythm, and then when they go back home, they can start. He can kind of get back to normal. But when they lost the Cleveland one, I was like, shit. Okay, they're gonna probably lose to New York then. But if they win the Brooklyn game, it's 5-3. I was saying it was going to be a good road trip if they went 500 because it was a tough one. 8 is a lot. 5-3, that's not a bad. It's considering the situation, it's not bad. They were in this game if they just had. I mean, this Shamit fucking guy. I mean, why does this broccoli-headed fucker always shoot the lights out against them?
And he was out there on the
street. Junior's twin devil brother.
He was waiting. He was out there on the streets.
Jesus, every fucking time this asshole plays against the Lakers, he never misses. So why aren't these guys elbowing this fucker in the throat? Oh, wait, they're going to get suspended for 2 weeks. Sorry. I can't do that anymore. Can I go back to 1989? Just for basketball? I like my life now, don't get me wrong. But just for basketball, can I go back to 1989, 90,
Alan, I'll leave that with you and Mark in the Discord. But speaking of suspensions, one last note for the weekend outside of the trades. Vit Krejci, also, just to let you guys know, he got traded from Atlanta. Why would Atlanta go ahead and send out a 42% three-point shooter to Portland and get not a whole lot back in return? Hey, actually, Duop Reath, who was out for the entire season. Oh, and some picks. Yes.
I can definitely say, I saw some Hawks fans post on the internet our famous meme in Atlanta where we post a guy holding the gasoline over the Mercedes Benz. That's how we felt at that moment. Just go to State Farm Arena and get this pool gasoline.
I just to get it. 42% shooter, and you guys let him go for a team that needs shooting. Okay.
I just about want to call the general manager and just say, wait, what are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing here? Because that made no sense.
What did you think of it? Again, defensively, it's not great, but what did you think of him as a player, Vit Krejci?
I mean, we kind of need shooting, and at least you had a good sharp shooter. The defense wasn't that great, and you just gave it away for a guy who not going to be playing this season. And I think they're going to waive him actually. So,
All right, well, there you go.
Not sure what they're creating cap space for.
And last bit of news, Joe, is Paul George. Paul George, I guess, took some medication for his mental health. I don't know if you're on mute, Joe. So I don't know if you're okay. He's talking. Okay, he's on mute. He's talking to
how about us and our mental health having to deal with listening to about the bullshit around Paul George's life?
Okay, $11 million it cost him. $11 million mistake.
All that for mental health? For what? Mental health of what? You're not banging enough skanks like you were in the bubble? You have to get out, right? That's why your team choked? You were just talking about that, right? You were just talking about, was that a choke? Yeah, it was a choke. I was going to get pretty vulgar with it, too, because he was too busy choking his own chicken instead of worrying about winning championships.
Clippers versus Lakers that year. And they failed on their part.
So when they talk about the bubble, this is something I'll get in deep. Again, I don't rarely talk about it on the show because it's never really a topic, really, other than it's a legitimate championship. But when I talk to people about why that championship was special, is that we got a chance to see who the mental midgets were, all the chicken wing dumb shits and the skank dumb shits like Paul George, they prioritized whores and food over winning. I have no respect for they're not professionals. Those aren't professionals. So you can call LeBron all you want, all the stuff you want. I'll tell you this: that guy was a beast in terms of basketball during that time. He was a pain in the ass outside. Don't get me wrong. And it was nice to have Haslam shut his ass down when they had that little meeting after whatever thing was going on. But it wasn't a surprise that they finally had to go get Michael Jordan to go talk to everybody. And the first thing Mike says is, you guys need to stop talking and start listening. And then finally everybody calmed down. And they're like, look, do you want a season or not? All right, we want a season. Good. Shut the fuck up and go play basketball. You want to worry about what's going on in the country? Go join the Army. Go join the Coast Guard. Go join the police force. Go do all that shit and go do it. You are supposed to be doing that job. So if you want to do both, pick one. Pick one. The shit won't stop whether you're playing basketball or whether you're alive or dead. Remember that, folks. We're human beings. Human beings are a fucked up species. So if you want to go all out, you want to be this activist, go do it. But if you're playing something else, you're getting paid $50 million to do something, do it or don't do it. I don't give a shit. So that time, everyone got a taste of something. Again, I'm not going to bring politics into this, but y'all got a taste of what happens when you don't got control of your life. So be careful what you support. But it was like kind of like maybe like boot camp, but you got a Larry O'Brien trophy in the end. And it seemed like the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Heat were really the only teams that gave a shit in the end. So props to those three teams. And that championship counts just for the fact that our team had more mental fortitude and discipline and weren't about skanks. And maybe they were, but they were able to hide it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But they were able to go through it and be professionals and do their job. And now we can go to the crypt and see a nice banner up there for that year.
It has not been stated by the league or specifically by Paul George what he specifically took, Jeremy.
I'm going to take a wild guess. He probably took weed.
But I thought that
it's a narcotic. It may have been something else.
I thought that was taken off, that they took that off the banned list.
Could have been the fake one.
It could have been, but again, I don't know if it's Adderall. I don't know what it was. Again, that's not been specifically stated by the league, so I don't want to.
Maybe it was crack.
I don't know. It's for his mental health. That's the only thing that was stated on that. But
yeah, mental health. Yeah. Okay.
That mental health issue cost him $11 million.
Mental health. Watch me drink this. Games. Watch me drink this for mental health.
All right, Scotch. Again,
I feel mentally healthy.
I bet indeed. But Legend, a 25-game suspension. He'll be back, about 10 games left. But again, the pocketbook will be much lighter.
Well, I think it was funny because LeBron gets the steroid accusations, and Shaq did an interview where Jeremy, I'm drinking scotch for my boy Mark because it's the anniversary of Mark's announcement of Luka trade. While Gerald was like, "Come on, Mark," and then all of a sudden it's like, "No, he's right, Gerald. He's right, Joe."
It's when Bobby Marks,
and I remember you went like this. You're like, "It's what? Oh my god, I can't believe."
When Bobby Marks on Twitter retweeted Shams and said, "No, it's not a hack," I was like,
"Yeah."
That's when it hit me.
I think the second tweet that Shams had, and I even like got confused myself. I go because a lot of times they'll put when Woj was there, they had that one letter that was off, and you couldn't tell if it was the right one. So as I was saying, who's Sham Sharon? I'm like, oh shit, that's Sham. That's not my instincts were like it's a fake name, and then it turned out it wasn't. It was actually him.
That's all the hard stuff, Jeremy. It just rocks. He doesn't water it down.
No, it's just this one's just Scotch, Jeremy. I usually drink rum and Coke or Honey Jack and Coke. Here, see, I got this too. If I wanted to
almost
have that
out.
right now, I don't have any ice. That's why Scotch is better, kind of, by itself with it not being cold.
So Legend, again, 25 games. He'll be back, but his wallet will be a lot lighter.
That is a lot of money for mental health, man. That would fuck up my mental health. Losing 11 million. There wouldn't be a fucking grass blade that I eat to lose 11 million bucks.
And he was just starting to play okay too.
I'm finna call Adam Silver real quick. That's too much money, man.
Hold on, I gotta tell you something, man. I ate a blade of grass. Please don't suspend me. I'm telling you right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll see what happens. But 1 year ago today, it was the Luka trade. 1 year later, silence. Crickets. Yeah. So, what a year makes. What a difference there. But what a difference a year makes. It is, of course, the Lakers 112 to 100 losers at MSG against the New York Knicks. The Lakers are still 6th place in the Western Conference. But we'll be back. Hopefully I can get an NBA observations tomorrow. I've got Legend for our draft special we're going to do on Wednesday night, I'm thinking. Tuesday, of course, is the post game for the Lakers and Nets. So hopefully you guys got your chance to stop on by. But if you have questions, comments, thoughts, mock trades, because Laker Tom is knee deep in mock trades right now. So go ahead and make sure you provide your own right down below. Again, I'll be on Lakers Latest, dropping the 411 for 15 to 20 minutes on Lakers Latest channel. Joe Soro has 3 hours of Joe Soro waiting for you at the Joe Soro Experiment.
I got a question. Is that considered a write-off when that happens, by the way? I'd like to know that.
Oh, when he loses the 11 million?
Yeah.
I guess.
So when you look at the taxes, he's probably clearing about 55 point, let's say 5.7, 5.8, right? It's not exactly half, but almost half, right?
And salary.
Typically.
Not any other stuff outside of that, but yeah.
Something salary. I'm going to try to find out there. That'd be an interesting story.
I know that they're writing it off in Philadelphia, at least a part of it, as was mentioned by Craig. But
they're insured, right? I mean, that's insured, right?
Yes.
Or does that go to a charity? Because when they fine you, that money is going to charity. When they fine you,
go to the league and it goes. They distribute amongst the players, or do they distribute?
That's a good. That would be something. Charities? See, that kind of shit is stuff we never think to find out. I think that's kind of cool on how that works, because we learned a lot about what was going on in baseball with the deferred payments. If the idiots online that are just making excuses because the owner of their teams are fucking cheap as fuck and just want to pocket all the money and blaming the Dodgers for everything. If they knew what benefit it was for the player to defer the money, they're probably so stupid they still wouldn't get it. But the point is, when you defer the money, you don't have to get paid. Like Ohtani's money, the $680 that he deferred, he don't have to. That won't be earned money in California, so he doesn't have to pay that 13.5 income tax there. He saves he actually gets back another $100 million in that 10-year span because he doesn't have to pay it.
Maybe it wasn't such a mental health.
I'm just saying. I'm like, these things are fun to kind of know how it works, and then again, it's just like anything else. You learn to understand why, and you're not just online like half the people here sometimes that are like, trade him, fire Rob. Okay, fire Rob. Okay, that's just fire him. Go ahead, do it. No, do it. It's fire.
Let's hope he has a good enough accountant to make that happen. But Legend, before we head on out, I Got Next Sports Media has got something going on. What is going on at I Got Next?
By the way, LeBron is a reserve in the All-Star game. Just
we mentioned that earlier. 22nd time in a row. I
was cracking up. People actually thought he wasn't going to be in the All-Star game. I go,
no.
Again, it's like banging your head on a wall at this point.
Do we think other people deserved it more? Yes, absolutely.
No. You
don't think Kawhi's
James.
You don't think Kawhi's season have
LeBron James is the all-star he's still the face of the NBA.
But you don't think
the all-star player.
You don't think Kawhi was having a better season than
he should be in there too, but that doesn't mean you got to take LeBron out.
Yeah,
no. Sorry.
You do have to draw ratings. That's true.
It's not ratings. It's LeBron James. This is a guy that's been playing this is the face of your league for 2 decades.
Well, that's face of the league. It draws ratings. Yes. It ties in all the same. It's all about money at the end of the day when it comes to the NBA. So, Legend, what is your thoughts on what you're doing at I Got Next Sports Media?
I'm definitely going to talk about probably tomorrow. I'm going to do my show and talk about my boy Stub being a starter in the All-Star game. So shout out to my boy still being a starter right now. And talk about the reserves, talk about I expect LeBron to be in there too. And then maybe talk about a couple of the snubs who didn't make it. And then my part going to wrap up my show talking about the WNBA maybe going into a lockout situation, see how that plays out. Because I'm finna tell the Atlanta Dream. I'm going to hold off on paying on my tickets until y'all figure that part out with the money situation first.
Well, they're making some big money on Unrivaled. And all of those. Yeah. They sold the place out in their last Unrivaled matchup. So that's interesting to see what they're going to do. They may not be so desperate. They may not be so desperate after all, as far as the WNBA is concerned, because of all the other stuff that they could be doing instead of the WNBA. Right now, again, right here, support Drip Show at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Laker lovers, right there.
I need a shirt, man.
He needs a shirt. He says.
I got a wallet. I'm ready to spend money.
I go DM him. All you got to do is DM him at Trip Show Shop on Instagram or Twitter or social media at Trip Show Shop right there for you. Joe, any last thoughts?
By the way, who was the smoking hot chick that was next to Spike today? I just kept seeing. I was like, damn, who the hell is that with Spike? I thought Spike was kind of tulipy. The hell's he doing sitting next to something like that? I thought he didn't like light skinned girls, according to his movies.
I don't know. Again, that's
anybody know?
I've been telling my
Sky Bree. Tony says Sky Bree.
Sky Bree. Is she an actor? She an actress?
Look her up.
Or influencer?
Sky Bree.
Yes, Sky Bree.
Sky Bree.
Real Sky Bree. Yes, she has 2 million followers, Joe.
Sky Bree.
Yes, go stare away at her social media. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Just go ahead and make sure you're happening with Drip Show Shop at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter or wherever you get your social media. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for listening. I will be dropping a little bit of tidbits from the Lakers or Lakers latest. I know Joe has another experiment.
Shit. Really?
Damn. What, Drewski?
Fuck.
What, is she married or something?
Porn star.
Oh.
What the fuck is she doing sitting there, man?
I think you just answered your own. I just think you answered your own question.
Son of a
dang, Tony, I ain't know that, man. Oh man. Maybe Spike Lee in there. I don't know.
I just think you just answered your own question with the words porn star. Yeah,
because it said it on Google.
I think the adult industry makes a lot of money, and I'll just just guess on that one. So
she might be an OnlyFans model.
Jimmy says, "Oh, here we go, Joe. I love the ones that come in and just like at the last second before we head out, they just like to get a jab into us. Anyone that is pissed about this Lakers team sucking is funny. The roster was terrible to begin with. No defense and no shooting. He's right on there. We all knew that they would suck. I said they would be in 5th place. Most of our panelists put 4th, 5th, and 6th for this year, Joe. So actually, this is actually a good post before we head out, Joe.
Let me. I'm trying to decipher this for a second. The Lakers are 29-19.
It's right around when they were last year.
They're 600 team. When you describe them as sucking, what are you sucking on? What is sucking? You know what sucking is? The Sacramento Kings. You know what else is sucking? The Portland Trailblazers. And actually, they're actually not playing too bad either. I think your definition of sucking is based off of past accomplishments. It's kind of like when you're... Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's expectations.
Like I'm going to give you a perfect comparison.
17 championships, you always expect them to be there, even though we told people at the season started, to have realistic expectations on where the Lakers will end up being, Joe.
Here's a comparison that some of you will know. Again, I just told you at the beginning of the show, I'm a big gangster movie fan, right? So everyone knows about Godfather and Godfather 2. They were made in 1972 and 1974. The only movies that had Best Picture for a sequel and an original, right? Mm-hmm. So amazing movies. And the way The Godfather ended, number 2, was the perfect ending. Mm-hmm. Now, go forward 15 years, and they decided Coppola wanted to do Godfather 3. Now, again, I'm going to make this clear. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their opinion, and it's probably right because it's kind of like one of those things where both sides have a point. I made a very conscious effort to watch the Godfather 3 movie without trying to compare it to the first two because it's not going to happen. I liked Godfather 3. I thought it was a great movie. The only reason why it's not publicly great is because we naturally think about 1 and 2. And worse than that, the ending of 2 was so perfect that they kind of screwed it up by having a third one.
Should have never put his daughter in there. She's a fantastic.
Well, they wanted Winona Ryder, and she something happened. I don't know what it was.
Find other actresses at that point in time. She was just, and she'll tell
you it was a money thing. G. That's why. That's why they didn't get. That's why they didn't get Duvall. Duvall wanted more money. It was a money grab. But I enjoyed it. I thought Andy Garcia was amazing. Diane Keaton, there's 2 scenes in that movie when Diane Keaton was going against Al Pacino. I was like, who the fuck in the history of Al Pacino's career has ever like made Al look like this tall? And he's already this tall, but he was like Dinklage tall at that point. Like, if you want to see Diane Keaton, and she's been God rest her soul, she passed away this last year. So it's the worst fucking year, 2025 for a lot of the greats. You want to see greatness? Remember I told you, Gerald, competition matters. Kobe winning all those series against 50-win teams. Diane Keaton, when you saw her next to other greats, she would overshadow them. That's how amazing she was. Those are the scenes in that film that make me like the movie. Still love Al. Al is arguably the greatest movie star that I think we've ever seen, especially with his longevity. He's like the LeBron of movies, right? And the story was good. The action was good. If it was a standalone, it would have been amazing. And it was nominated for 7 Oscars. Didn't win any, but it was a good, really good movie. It's just that it's compared to to 1 and 2, and it's just impossible to ever live up to those. Yep, Joe was not under the thumb like you is.
Drip Show, Back to the Future 3. Just I watched it once, and yeah, that was it. It's not terrible, but it's just.
I didn't go to the site, SB. I just went on Google, and I'm on record on my show. So if I die tonight, and then they go and look at my browser, and they're gonna look at the video and know that I was just looking to see who the hell this skank was.
There you go.
God, what a waste. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, when you said how could she afford something, I'm like, you just answered your own question with the adult movie.
She is a gorgeous woman. Jesus Christ. Why did she have to go?
Damn. Why do you think? You just mentioned again, you just answered your own question.
Man, if I was a model producer or a movie producer, I would have found her and I said, listen, don't go that way. Let me make you a movie star. And I wouldn't be in a casting couch. I'd be like over here while she's standing over there across the street. Just, hi, you should be in movies. No, not that movie, this movie.
So it is the Los Angeles Lakers going to play on Tuesday in Brooklyn. We'll have a
Winona was a klepto. I remember that. Yeah. That was way before then, Jeremy. I think she was doing Edward Scissorhands. I think that's why she couldn't do it. I don't know. I got to say, I thought she was great in that movie. That movie is fantastic. Gerald, do you know who they actually wanted to play Edward Scissorhands first before Johnny Depp?
I don't remember.
Gary Oldman.
Oh, really?
And Gary's like, I don't know what this is. Man with scissors.
Depp and Burton have gone so well together.
Well, that's like the Scorsese De Niro thing, right?
Yeah.
Like they're great because Depp is kind of weird and in a good way. They're weird in a good way.
I didn't say it's bad, Drip Show. I just said Back to the Future 3. It just doesn't. It didn't hold up for me.
Been back to Macy's lately. No, tough. This. He's talking about a story I told him on the last show. No, man, I don't want to see that again, man. That was a very oof. Yeah.
So with that, it is of course the Lakers.
Wait, you don't like Back to the Future 3?
No, I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it's okay. I watched.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason why that was supposed to be one movie, but they had to split it up.
Yeah, I know because
I like anything Wild West. That's why I enjoyed
Universal wanted more money. There you go. Absolutely. So again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. We'll be back on Tuesday, of course, to bring you the post game. Looking forward to seeing if I can bring you an NBA observations. Legend and I are working on a special on as far as the trade deadline on Wednesday night. And then, of course, Joe, Legend, I, hopefully the whole gang will be here for our trade deadline special. And, of course, what's upcoming for the Lakers on Thursday night as well. Jeremy says, I didn't like it. 1 and 2 far superior. 1 is far superior. 2 has its moments. I do love the Vegas scenes in Back to the Future 2. So I'll leave it at that. But it is, of course, ZZ Top. I like ZZ Top. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. We'll see you this week a lot. You will be seeing a lot of us right here at the LFB. Hopefully you'll tune in. Hopefully you'll check in. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe because we've got a busy week ahead. Does Rob have a busy week ahead? Does Legends teams have a busy week ahead? We'll find out if the NBA has a busy week ahead from all of us right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.